Yo, what's going on, everybody? Gabriel Santos here, and I just wanted to pop out the camera and talk about an idea that I got when I was on my walk. All right, so basically, your best self is a mode, it's not a destination. And the context I mean with that is, I think a lot of us we look at being your best self as this destination, right? When you have the six pack, when you have the money, when you have XYZ happiness or whatever you think your best self looks like. Um, and so, with that approach, it's based on time, right? It's based on time. But your best self is a mode of being. It's the way you operate. It's the way that you function in a day or in a moment. And so consider that if you're someone who, right now maybe you're slumping or you haven't been your best self in a long time. Being your best self is just a mode, and the way that you become your best self over time is just repetition. And so if you don't feel like your best self right now, let's say you're not your healthiest, you're at a job that maybe isn't for you or whatever, you're just slumping and kind of stagnant. Um, Something probably happened. Maybe you have some emotional trauma. Maybe whatever, you dropped the ball and you judged yourself or whatever. Or maybe you're just years removed from your best self. For some of us, high school was our best self, or maybe we've never been our best self before. But consider that it's just a mode, and it's all about reps, right? Because what we're looking for is a sense of consistency in being our best self, okay? And I do that in quotes because um, I think it's just easy to get caught up in the phrase of your best self and you get attached to what that looks like. But, so if you've had it, let's say in the past year, right, since the pandemic, got depressed, lockdown, and you slipped, right? That you dropped the ball. So for a year, you've been engaging in the mode called depressed and stagnant and non-action. And for a year, 365 days, you've gotten a year's worth of reps in that mode. And for some of us, and let me give some context, by default, without any effort whatsoever, all of us will engage in some form of stagnant or depressed way of living, right? Because typically, I'm not just gonna get up and go on a walk. I'm not just gonna pull out this camera and make a video. In order for me to make a video, go on a walk, drink my water, all that, I need to engage with the best side of me. I need to actually put the effort in to do that. I have to put it on paper and then actually do it. Whereas if I don't engage in that, by default, I'm just going to wake up whenever, eat whatever, and not care. That just so happens to be like my default if I don't try. And I think a lot of people can relate with that. And so, if you're looking to be your best self and get back on that train, consider it's just a muscle. And you don't have to make it a big deal. Like, I'm going to be my best self. Like, it's just a mode. And if you prefer to be someone who is healthier and feeling happier on a more consistent basis, the reality is we have to train that into our nervous system. We have to train that into an identity. And it takes effort, specifically if you're someone who's engaged with your worst self over the years, right? Your default mode is to be your worst self, so to speak. And so in order for your new default mode, sorry for the air quotes, guys, I know that's like the 30th time I've done it. In order to create a different default, you have to exercise the muscles of your best self on at least a more consistent basis than zero, right? And so something to take a look at is, instead of making it all or nothing, like I have to be my best, I have to engage in my best self mode every second of every day for the rest of my life, just switch up the ratio. Instead of being, lazy and irresponsible 95% of the time, you know, and your best self 5% of the time, how about, 25% of the time you engage with your best self, 30%, 40%, and then you build it up. And so, yeah, that's the message I just wanted to share today, that your best self isn't a destination, so to speak, it's a mode. And the way that because let's say you want to go from 100 pounds overweight to being in shape. Yes, obviously the destination of your best self is to be in shape, right? But the only way you even get in shape is engaging with the mode called your best self. And it's through engaging with the mode of your best self in a sense of repetition and in a ratio that allows you to create that reality, right? So just take a look at it. It's like there's no way you're going to be in shape and you can just start to look at it logically. There's no way you're going to be in shape if you only engage with your best self 50% of the time. That said, 50% of the time you won't be a slob, right? You'll have some sense of health, you'll have some sense of happiness and health, right? But you may not be at that version that you imagine. And so then it just starts to become a game. It's like, okay, in order to really have the type of results I'm looking for, I need to engage with my best self mode about 75% of the time at least, right? Which is great because that allows for 25% of the time to be lazy, to have a day where you're just not feeling it, to just, not have to be so up and on it all the time. And so it creates a sense of flexibility, and an alternative approach to having the life you want and accomplishing the goals you want. So it's just a mode. And so then just take a look, right? You could take a look at your life, past year. Do you have the results you want? And some of you do. And if you take a look, the reason why is because you engaged in a version of yourself in a certain way, at a certain level of frequency. Whereas for some of us, if we're overweight or out of shape, it's because, I've been engaging in this mode called sorry for myself, lazy, I'll do it tomorrow. Whereas the other mode is, no, I'm gonna do it today. And so in the week, right, you can't have 7 I'm gonna do it tomorrow days. It's just not gonna work, right? It's just not gonna work. So at the very least, you have to have at least one day where you're gonna actually do it, right? So I'm gonna cut it. I'm gonna leave it at that. There's more to say, but I think the message came across, and I'm not sure. I've created this video on a Saturday. I don't know if I'm gonna post it during the weekend, but whenever it is you're watching this video, I hope you find it well, and hopefully this empowers you in some kind of way. In any case, appreciate you all. I love you all. I'll see y'all in the next video. Until then, peace.